Hi. I always decide to make a video when I look like poop, but that's all right. Um, I thought I'd do a little kind of get to know me, so you can know about me. I'm gonna try to keep it short, but see, I pause and I ramble way too much. Um, I think because I was reading that book, Outwitting the Devil, and one of the very last things he talked about was wisdom and knowledge, and how we obtain knowledge, but it takes a long time to learn wisdom. And it said that usually people don't begin to gain their wisdom until they're in their 40s. And I was like, whoa, I think I'm running a little late though, because I'm 47. But then it had me thinking about my life, and life's a big adventure and it's a roller coaster, but it made me think how I have accomplished a lot. And even people who I still know, who I went to school with or grew up with, will tell you any crazy idea I had, I probably went for it. So I thought I'd give you this little kind of background, not everything, because God, that would take hours on end, but kind of fun highlights. So for 27 years, I was a AutoCAD drafter for a land surveying company. I also did some side work for civil engineering companies. And even during that time, I worked full time. I went back to college when I was about 28. Um, University of New Orleans, and of course, the garbage trucks come in while I'm doing this. Um, I switched my major all kinds of times, but I started in biology with respiratory therapy, cardiopulmonary technology, which I later went back to. I was an English major. Well, I switched to civil engineering, and then I decided I do this all day long. Not the technical part of it, but I was like, I'm bored with it. I went back to college to not do this, even though I knew it made much better money. Then I became an English major because ever since I was very small, I've written stories and written all the time. I wrote for I don't think they're around anymore. I wrote for a punk site in New Orleans, a music site. So I did interviews and reviews of different bands that came through the city. My husband photographed for them. We did that pretty much for free until kind of before I was getting too busy. They asked me to edit their site too. So and other people's reviews and interviews. So I did that too. Um, this is toward the end, but 2014 I released my first novel. Released 4 since then, and 2 short stories that were in anthologies, and then one I rewrote it to try to change it to be clean and everything, because all my family says they don't like to read my smut because it's dirty or whatever. But way before that, I went to college full time, but I also had side hustles. I bartended in the Quarter for a while, so I would go to work, go to evening classes, work an 8:30 to 8:30 shift, go home, shower, and go to work. I did that shortly. It only lasted a few months because I just couldn't do it anymore. But I also would work, and I saved my money, and I was lucky enough. The company I worked for since I was 18, and they worked with me well when I decided to go do a semester abroad in Madrid. So I spent about 3 months. It was a summer semester, so I spent about 3 months in Madrid and traveled around Spain. That was awesome. After Katrina, my husband and I moved to Colorado. In Colorado, I decided I always loved roller derby, so I joined roller derby and then eventually became a referee. But that is where I met the wonderful, if you haven't checked out her channel yet, her Amanda Gold, and her channel's Amanda Gold Kicks Ass with Both Feet. So I met her during roller derby. And at the same time, I began doing burlesque in Denver. So I was a burlesque performer from about 2007 until I turned 40 in 2013. In that period, I also had a side hustle. I did go back to school for respiratory therapy. I had a side hustle working in part time in a French bakery. So I was a pastry chef assistant and I helped with the baking and decorating and everything. I was also doing burlesque at night. And then I started training for my first fitness competition. So I competed in 2010 in fitness, an NPC bodybuilding fitness show. So I did the fitness routine. And then later, see, between there, I'm trying to remember everything because I was doing burlesque. And then the last time I competed in bodybuilding, I did physique. And that was I was 41. So it was 2014. Math. Done my whole job, my whole life has been math. And I had to think of that. And actually loved it. I would have continued doing it if it wasn't, it's a very expensive sport to do. And in the meantime, we moved all over Colorado again until our last move. Actually, my drafting job kind of ended. After I moved from New Orleans, they kept me on. Moved from New Orleans in 2006 after Katrina, and I still worked for the same company until last year, about March of last year, which, I mean, hey, they had enough in-house people and the company was bought by some of the employees. And so after that, I was lucky enough, there was a veterinarian in the little town we lived in. We lived in the mountains, which I loved. That's still my dream home, even though we had to move again. And I had a veterinarian who was training me to be a veterinary assistant. So I helped him, surgeries, dogs, cats, ranch calls with horses mostly. And I loved it. And then we found out we had to move again for my husband's promotion. And so we moved here right before COVID, like right before. So here we are, and I still don't have everything unpacked because right before everything shut down, we got estimates to replace the floors and we didn't want to unpack everything and lay everything out until the floors are done. So I still have that to do. Which now I'm kind of like, we need to minimize. We've moved so many times with hundreds of books. I've been boxing books and giving them away and clothes and everything. But it also, there's this part of me that still has things I haven't accomplished yet. And one is getting back in shape again because I have no visible muscle anymore, and that makes me sad. Because I loved it so much, and I have no one to blame but myself. I have no excuses but my poor food choices and sitting on my fat ass. What else? Anyway, I still have dreams of like backpacking across America or something, going to Antarctica or Alaska, or backpacking across Europe, or I still have those adventures in mind, and who knows, maybe they'll happen. I tell myself, if I've done this much with my life, I can still do more. Trail running, which I miss because I haven't found trails here in the parks. It's just like normal, kind of boring parks. And they're only open certain hours. But yeah, so, and I'm in this space where I'm trying to make positive choices and make my life happen the way I want it to be. And there's a fear, and I'm trying to overcome the fear that everybody's trying to overcome. Trying to make healthier choices as I get older. I just want to, I've always wanted to be this little old lady in the nursing home, kind of like at the end of Titanic when you see the old lady Rose's pictures and there are all these adventures. That's what I want to be, and I want to be that little old lady in the nursing home who is telling people all of these things I've done and pulling out my photo albums, which I couldn't find because I was going to show you pictures, and I'm not YouTube savvy yet, so I don't know how to place those pictures in, but they are all on my Instagram and my blog, which blog is Red Lips and Ass at blogspot.com, and my Instagram is Cajun Girl Living in the Mountains. So I don't know, I'm just trying to find positive things. I thought maybe if I shared a little blip, and this video is going much longer than I wanted it to, like little blips of what I've done in my life that other people can see. If they have these weird, crazy dreams, that it's possible for them to do it too. And I mean, I know a lot of people use excuses of having kids or working full time. I did that too. I would work 2 jobs just because I was always trying to hustle, and I always had these dreams of being artistic and being able to make money from them, which in the beginning always kind of worked out a little bit. And then kind of the money left. So I always had my dependable job where I had my income, even though it wasn't like my heart wasn't into it. And so I'm still trying to find that artistic part of me that I still love doing, which I love writing. I always have, always will, which even though it makes me no money, I keep putting those books out there. But I'm still trying to find parts of me that I love, that I can embrace. Like I kind of, we all get blue, got a little blue, let myself go, couldn't find my initiative and my discipline to make myself eat healthy and be active, which when I eat healthy and I'm active and I'm in really good shape, I feel great. And I have to tell myself that, like, it's such like a high to be active, to be strong, to it keeps your mood up. So I'm trying to do that, and luckily I have some friends online because we moved here and I wasn't able to make new friends before everything shut down. But I still have wonderful friends online who I speak to every week and some almost every day, who are very fitness oriented. Their life is fitness. It's their profession. So they motivate me and keep me in the right headspace to try to make better changes. And though I'm not as strict as I was when I was competing, I'm making better changes. So I think, and like I said, I'm here to say, even if you're in your 40s, getting up closer to 50, you can still do wonderful things with your life. You don't have to compromise. And yeah, well, you do have to kind of compromise to make the time, to be willing to make the time to do things you want to do. So there is that. But if you want to do it, you just have to do it. So right now I'm trying to find the things that make me really happy and make the time to do it while trying to still side hustle to make more money. Now I'll tell you how that works out, because like I said, COVID shut down, and even when I went to the new vet right before everything was completely shut down, I was getting my 15-year-old little furry man in to get him established for his meds and stuff. And the vet was like, yeah, we'd like to see you back maybe with a resume in like 6 to 10 months. Depends on this thing. So I'm like, okay. So it's what, been 3 months, but they have 10 people in the office right now, and they're trying to rotate it, so they didn't want new people, which I understand that too. But so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out those ways to hustle and make money, as many of us are. Just because, you know, there's this part of me that likes to be busy, that likes to be making money. There's no other way to put it. And so yeah, right now it's low because um let's put it, self-publishing your own books isn't going to put a lot of money on the table. It puts some, but you know, whatever. So I'm always trying to find other ways that I can be helpful, entertain, be useful, be reasonable, and just find a way to, I don't know, live so I can do extra things and live my life and not work to live or live to work, but work to live. That's right, right? I can write things much better than I can speak. Let me tell you that right now. Okay, I've let this go on way too long. Have a good day.